FRQ number 4, part C. All right, so it says find the value of C for which the average value of f over the interval -5 to c is 1/2. All right, so remember, average value formula says 1 over b minus a times the definite integral from a to b of f of t dt. Right, so I put in 1 over c minus -5 equals the definite integral from -5 to c of f of t dt. Now, you were told that this value, the average value, is 1/2. And so now this is an equation that really the only variable in it is c. Now, I understand sometimes people think like t or x or whatever it is, but it isn't, because when you integrate this, right, you're going to plug in -5 and c, right, and you're going to end up with something that only has c. All right, so first of all, I have got this 1 over c plus 5, right? So that's on the outside, times this integral. Now remember, we're looking at a graph of f. All right, and so what would the integral from -5 to c of f represent? Well, it would represent the area under this curve from -5 to c. All right, and so I'm going to break this up into a couple different sections. All right, I've got this section over here on the left, right, which is below the x-axis, and that is a quarter circle. We have this area here, which is a triangle. We have this area here, which is a triangle, and then this area here, which is also a triangle. Now, I guess I could do that whole triangle there, but I think it's just going to be a little easier to do it that other way. All right, so first of all, the area here. All right, what is that? Well, that's an area of a quarter circle, and it's below the x-axis. So we're going to say that this is negative 1/4 of pi times the radius, which is 2 squared, right? So that's negative, well, really just be negative pi. So I'm going to put negative pi right there. All right, then I have this area, which is a triangle. It's also below the x-axis. So we're going to take the opposite, negative of 1/2 base, which is 1, times the height, which is 2. Right, and we already accounted for the fact that it's below the x-axis with the negative there. So half of 1 times 2 is 1. So I'm going to have negative pi minus 1, right? Then I've got this part above the x-axis. So this is a positive. So half of the base, which is 2, times the height, which is also 2. So half of 2 times 2 is 2, right? And so we're going to put a plus 2 there. All right. Then I have this part, which is also a triangle. So we're going to take half of the base. Now the base is actually just c, right? And then the height is 2. So half of c times 2, that is just c. So then I'm going to have plus c, all right? And this equals 1/2. So now this is a relatively easy equation to solve for c. All right, so now I do need to do this work because, yes, it's just algebra, but I do not have c by itself. So I'm going to multiply both sides by c plus 5. So I have negative pi minus 1 plus 2. I guess I could combine those to get plus 1. All right, and then plus c, and then equals half of c plus 5. All right, and so now I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to distribute the 1/2. So I have half of c plus 5/2. All right, and then I've got negative pi plus 1 plus c. So now I'm going to subtract 1/2 of c. So I'm going to get half of c equals 5/2. And then I'm going to add pi and subtract 1. So minus 1 plus pi. All right, and then I'm going to multiply by 2. So c is 5 minus 2 plus 2 pi. So c equals 3 plus 2 pi. All right. Now, you could stop at this point because c is isolated. You don't have to do that simplification. All right. That is part C.